York City. It is Evan and Tiki on the Fan. We got a ton to get to. More proof that Yankee fans are absolutely done with Anthony Volpe as they lose lifelessly last night. Will the New York Mets actually trade Mark Vientos or Ronny Mauricio before the trade deadline? We'll get to all that plus your calls. But yesterday, before we were distracted by sports, there was a horrific tragedy here in New York City in which innocent people lost their lives, including a police officer here in the city.
Yeah, it was very sad. And, we don't want to dig too deep in this because we don't fully know all of the details, but just thoughts and prayers go out to all the victims and obviously to the Perps family as well. But, this one thing came out of this that we kind of have forgotten and haven't talked about in a long time, and that's head trauma and the causes and downstream effects of repeated or massive head trauma. And according to the suicide note that was left by the perpetrator here, he talked about CTE, and he said, as part of his note, study my brain. And it's scary when you think about this issue that we kind of have forgotten about now and what it could potentially do to people. Now, the NFL, this is why he blamed the NFL, and I'm not sure the exact connection other than that professional football makes you want to be a professional football player, right. And therefore you play it as a kid and maybe get hit and concussed. But I bring this up because I did a study when I was with the Today Show. I did a story on the lack of physical trainers at high school levels across the country. And it was football, but it was everything. Soccer, lacrosse, some things were even outside of school, like skiing. You go on a skiing trip or snowboarding or skateboarding and you fall and hit your head and then it's not diagnosed. And then you go get hit your head again and you just have these repeated traumas. And so this is a reminder in so many ways that head trauma and contact sports is something we can't forget about. We have to start paying attention to this again, unfortunately, because some of these studies, when they talk about the effects of head trauma on people who do mass shootings, it's pretty significant. So, again, thoughts and prayers go out to all those that lost their lives, in particular one of the men in blue who was just on duty.
Just protecting us.
Protecting us or protecting that building, 345 Park Avenue, and lost his life. But it's hard to start a show that way, but I just want to send our thoughts and prayers out to the victims of this horrific moment.
It's a reminder that when we get worked up over the next 4 hours about stupid stuff, it really is truly stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. It's sports, and it's fun. Even when we're mad at 1 o'clock in the morning that the Mets lost the baseball game, it's a reminder that it is the candy store or the toy store,
right?
As wise men have once said. But we're here to distract you, and there is a lot to be distracted by over the next few days going into the trade deadline. And last night, see, I'm rational right now. It's been 11 hours. And 11 hours later, I can say to you, yeah, last night sucked. But to quote a wise man, no biggie. They've won 7 in a row. It's okay.
Oh, it sucked for you as a Met fan. It sucked worse for us as Yankee fans.
Well, you had a bad night.
Yeah.
See, the difference is right now on the state of these teams. The Met fan last night is disappointed because you lost a wild, wacky, crazy baseball game.
But the way you almost won it was kind of encouraging.
No, you're right. I mean, there were some encouraging things out of it. You can find positives. I think the biggest negative is that it happened at 1 o'clock in the morning. And anytime you invest so many hours staying up late, it makes the loss worse. The Yankee fan is just disgusted. They're just angry. And both teams have big decisions to make over the next couple of days going into the trade deadline. And what's happening right now, and I'm battling this, Teague. I'm battling this as hard as I can. I like to think of myself, maybe it's not even true, but I like to think of myself as a rational baseball fan, where you should never get too high and you should never get too low.
Of course.
And that goes with players. We should not over-evaluate or overvalue players when they're doing well, nor should we go to the pits of hell when they're struggling to say, get rid of them, DFA them, trade them for a bag of balls. And right now, if you're a Met fan, we are dealing with that volatile movement when it comes to Mark Vientos and Ronny Mauricio. Because both guys are still unproven. Ronny Mauricio more so than Vientos.
Right.
Vientos had a great year last year, epic moments in the postseason. He's had a terrible year up until recently. And as we sit here dreaming of a World's Championship and dreaming of the Mets improving themselves, both guys could be traded. There were reports yesterday that Mark Vientos is available. And when he hits basically 2 home runs last night, one of them got robbed by Fernando Tatis Jr., the nonsensible side of me says you can't trade him.
Right. Even if trading him makes you better.
Yes, because he's 25. He has a chance to be a star. How could you trade him? And so as I sit here right now, trying to be as rational as I can on July 29th at 2:07 p.m., my attitude towards both Mark Vientos and Ronny Mauricio is you better give me a lot. Yes, to quote the $1 Million Man, everybody's got a price. But that price better be awesome for me to move Mark Vientos or Ronny Mauricio, because ultimately, we've talked for a while about the depth of this lineup. Both of those guys are hitting, and all of a sudden, the depth of the Met lineup doesn't feel like it's a giant hindrance anymore.
No, it doesn't. And here's the interesting thing about the trade. So you feel potential trade. You feel really good about Vientos after last night. You feel really good about Mauricio as well. And then you think about, well, if you trade Mark Vientos, what are you getting? And so far, what the predominant trade location has been the Chicago White Sox and Luis Robert Jr. The problem is that if you do that and you get rid of Mark Vientos, which clears out this kind of logjam at third and second base, you also then now create a logjam in center field. Because if Jeff McNeil is not playing center field, where is he playing? Is he playing second, or do you want Brett Baty to play second? Is Brett Baty going to third and then Mauricio sitting, or is Mauricio playing second and Jeff McNeil is sitting? It's not quite the problem that the Yankees had in this overpopulation of outfielders, but there is a little bit of a logjam that's created if you bring in Luis Robert, because you're not trading for him and then playing him part-time. Right? If you trade from get rid of Mark Vientos, he better be your everyday center fielder, and he better be damn good.
Right.
Because you then create a logjam someplace else.
Yeah.
And so the more I think about it, none of it really makes sense. Not only because Mark Vientos has been really good, and he was last night, and Mauricio as well, but you can't throw Jeff McNeil out of the lineup, can you?
No. And I think right now, Brett Baty, Ronny Mauricio, Jeff McNeil, and Mark Vientos should all be in the lineup. And there's a way for it to happen. We saw it last night.
Exactly.
I don't care that Jesse Winker's coming back from the IL. Jesse Winker needs to DH against righties all the time? No, he doesn't. He could be a lefty bat off the bench. Same with Starling Marte. Mm-hmm. So I think as long as there's performance from these young players, and we're seeing it recently, all of those guys can play. Here's what this comes down to. Do you believe in Jeff McNeil in center field? Because Vientos, Mauricio, and Baty all being here just means Jeff McNeil needs to be the center fielder.
Yes.
And I do believe him in as a center fielder. And I think what the Mets can do is make this simple. Go get a good defending fourth outfield type to kind of play a little center field, whether it's taking Jeff McNeil out of a game early or getting the occasional
hold
start.
on. I would then counter, do you really need to do that? Because you have Tyrone Taylor.
Well,
and you have Winker, who's coming back.
So Jesse Winker, to me, is not someone who I want to stick in the outfield. He's basically a left-handed bat off the bench or a DH.
Right.
And the problem with Tyrone Taylor is he just hasn't hit enough. So the easy answer on adding that fourth outfield type is to bring back Harrison Bader. If you bring back Harrison Bader, who's had a productive year and has hit lefties, then this whole thing works. But to trade Mark Vientos or Ronny Mauricio, and again, I study Ted DiBiase. He had wise words when he was around. He still is alive, but not active. And that was everyone has a price. So yes, there's a price. Even for Tommy, who loves Mark Vientos, there's a price where we'd say fine. But does that exist? Is Luis Robert Jr. the price? Not really. So yes, I would, in a weird world, trade Vientos or Mauricio, but I need a lot back. And a center fielder who, while I'm high on Luis Robert Jr., has had a year and a half of downness and makes $20 million a year and is older than Mark Vientos, the more I think about it, and I've gone back and forth on it, and I ain't going to lie, Vientos going deep twice nearly yesterday, certainly pendulum goes the other way, that ain't the price. That ain't it. Like Johan Duran, maybe that would be the price, a top-level elite closer. Maybe even if the Yankees opened up and said, we're going to trade Cody Bellinger and Devin Williams. Like, would that be the price? Probably. But the active guys we're talking about, whether it's Merrill Kelly or Luis Robert Jr., it doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
And Vientos reminded you last night, even though it's been a very rough season, what he's capable of. And it'd be very difficult to move on for him unless you're getting something rad.
Yeah, the way I see it, and I've thought this now for a couple of days. The Mets need another reliever. someone who you can trust in the back of the bullpen. If you get lucky or if the opportunity presents itself and maybe prospects, you can get a starter or maybe a third starter. But I don't think that's happening. I don't think it's in the cards. What I see is just another reliever, and it really kind of feels like all you need. The Mets have been so odd because we feel like they're flawed. But as we've talked about many times, every team is flawed. But the one thing about the Mets that you tend to see also is that they get streaky. And when they're streaky good, it's really good.
But here's the problem with the streakiness, Teak. We are sitting here 3 days before the trade deadline, and despite last night's Met loss, they're on a good streak.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Yes.
Is any trade they commence, is it going to fix the streakiness? And the answer is no.
No, it's not going to fix the streakiness, but our opinions, as much as I try, I sit here and I beg to myself, Evan, don't get too up on the hots and don't get too down on the colds.
Right.
We're being affected by the hots right now.
I know, but
Ronny Mauricio hits another epic game-time home run. No one wants to trade him.
But hold on, is it this timing?
It is all timing.
It's all timing. If they were cold as ice right now, we'd be saying like, "Oh, we got to get one of these kids out of here. I want somebody that's going to get them right." But because they're hot, it feels like, well, this is who they are. But when they're bad and when they're streaky and they're not hitting with runners in scoring position, it's like, well, this is who they are.
So, Teak, this is why you're very important today. Because you're important every day, but you're even more important today. As much as I try to be calm, not get too nuts about the hots and the lows of a baseball season,
Right.
I'm a human.
Of course you
Tommy
are.
doesn't even pretend. He's always going to be that way. Sean is extremely that way. You're Tiki Barber. You're an IBO. So tell us.
I'm truly an IBO.
You really are. I try to be, but I know my flaws.
You can't help yourself.
I can look in the mirror and call myself out for my issues. So me and Tommy as Met fans are we're by your knee. We're bending over. No, that's other. We're on our knees.
On bended knee.
We're on bend. That was what
I am not a deity. I'm not a deity.
You do what you want, Evan. I'm not doing that.
To the Tao of Tiki, I will accept your offerings.
So you tell us, the Irrational Met Fan.
Yes.
Should we believe this and say no trades? We don't need to add a bat. Mauricio, Vientos, Beatty, let's believe in the kids. Or should the Mets be aggressive thinking, you know what? Let's go win a world championship. And if Mark Vientos can net you something back that makes you better in the short term, screw it and go do it.
So after we had this conversation yesterday, and you kept saying it, like I was kind of dismissing it, but I'd bring it up, but I would dismiss it. You kept saying it. You can't forget what Mark Vientos did last year. You just can't. And not only because it was 27 home runs in 100-plus games, just over 100 games, it was what he did in the postseason in clutch moments. You can't teach clutch. You can't.
Right.
Some guys have these quick heartbeats, and it's like, oh, man, I'm nervous. What am I going to do? I can't fail here. And they fail because they're so anxious about it. Now, anxiety is nothing. It's not really that bad. It's really just your body gearing itself up to do something. Right? Like when you get nervous because you get scared at night, it's because your body is gearing itself up to run. You know what I mean? So what Mark Vientos gets that anxiousness, he responds. And we saw it last year. And we kind of saw it last night. And we're going to walk the bases loaded. Mark, you're slumping. We're going to get you out. Okay. Watch me go up.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's something about his slow heartbeat that I can't now not forget what he did last year.
No, I agree with you.
So you can't move off from him. And with Mauricio, that ninth inning home run, how effortless was that?
It was incredible.
It was so smooth. That long ass, just on the outside, it was on the black, but just on the outside, he just cooked that thing and it looked effortless and easy.
And he did it again, back-to-back games in which he had a game-tying home run off guys who don't give up home runs.
And so what you're seeing are two kids who have the clutch gene, and the last thing you want is to let those guys go.
No, you're right.
If you have it's one thing to have good players. It's another to good players that are also clutch. And I think you have that. So calm down. Don't try to go win the world at the trade deadline. Just get what you need and trust these guys.
According to Will Salmon, who does a wonderful job covering the Mets for The Athletic, he says, quote, the Mets would only trade Mark Vientos for a rental if it was a significant player coming back. Who is a significant enough rental player to trade him today.
Well, that means it's somebody that we're not even thinking of.
Well, okay, so I started trying to think of it.
Right.
Like, no offense to Zach Gallen or Merrill Kelly, who are starting pitchers. It's not them.
Right.
Johan Duran doesn't qualify. He's not a rental player. Luis Robert Jr. is not a rental player. And honestly, I swear to God, and I'm not trying to start something here, the only rental player that I could come to where it's a debate or a discussion happens to play for the New York Yankees. And you know who that guy is?
Who?
Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
He's the only guy I could think of because, and look, I'm not even saying I would make that trade for the same reasons you just laid out about Mark and his clutch gene and the fact he's young and under team control for a long time. But a rental player means they're gone potentially at the end of the year.
Right.
What kind of player, and I believe Will Salmon's reporting, they would only do it for a rental player who is significant. What is that?
Great. So now everyone's plan A and plan B.
No, but hey, be a baseball fan. Who is that guy? Who is the rental player that's significant enough that the Mets would say, we're going to trade Mark Vientos? So eliminate the Luis Robert Jr.'s of the world.
Rental play. I mean,
who is it?
If I was saying surprise, he's not rental, I would say Paul Skeens. But that's not happening.
No, it's a rental. So is it Eugenio Suarez?
He's not a rental.
Is it Suarez? You know, he's had a great year. He did get hurt last night. Hopefully everything comes back clean on him.
X-rays were negative.
Okay, so what are they saying, day to day?
Yeah.
Okay, so good news for... Is that the guy? You tell me. I'm trying to be rational.
I don't know. You look at the free agents more than I do, but...
No, Suarez would be that guy, but
is he?
he's not also a center fielder. You're talking about the position of depth with the young guys at third base.
Right. If you made that trade, if that's the deal that David Stearns would be willing to make, you're sticking with what's their current plan, which is Jeff McNeil's playing a lot of center field.
Yep.
And I said this a few weeks ago about the Mets improving their offense. They can improve their offense without adding a center fielder because I do trust Jeff McNeil in center. And I do think Tyrone Taylor's defense is good enough for him to come in late in games. So they could improve their offense if we still believe they need to improve their offense by not necessarily adding a center fielder. They've been connected to Brandon Lau of the Tampa Bay Rays. He's not a center fielder. If the Mets acquired him, he's probably the DH. Maybe he plays second base, which is the position he plays now once he comes off the IL. So I don't think they need to be married to a center fielder, but I'm afraid to trade Mark Vientos for a rental like that.
I would be as well.
The guy's got 5 more years of team control.
I agreed. And so here's the balance that's hard to figure out. Are you all in? I mean, like, for real all in. Not like just speaking it, rhetoric all in, lip service all in. Are you, like, really all in?
You know what I don't like about that phrase?
If you're really all in,
yeah,
and you're trying to win it by throwing everything to the wind, which, by the way, is stupid because you compromise yourself for next year and the years to come.
Right.
In case, baseball happens, and even though you're the superior team, you lose. So I don't think the Mets should be all in like that. And so when you're talking about this rental player, it doesn't make sense.
Well, also,
I don't think there is that guy who's going to truly put you all in. There isn't. Who is it?
Honestly, it would probably be, and it's not going to happen, and I don't think it should happen, but it's if the Yankees ever sold guys off.
Right.
Because I think Cody Bellinger and Devin Williams are game changers.
But we had that conversation yesterday. The Yankees are not